about the dedication of the monument that is to be dedicated sometime at the during this month or next month, is it not?
Right.
Perhaps you could tell us something about that.
Okay, the monument, the Vietnam Veterans Memorials, that is dedicated to all those who died or were listed missing in action from the war in Vietnam from the state of Tennessee. The actual memorial was dedicated over Veterans Day of this past year. The entire project included a three-figure statue that will be dedicated. It was late in getting produced, and so it will be dedicated this Memorial Day, May the 26th, at Legislative Plaza. I think the ceremony started about 9 in the morning.
Now, that will be the memorial for the statue in Washington, D.C., I mean, for the monument in Washington, D.C.
No, that will be here for the state of Tennessee. Of course, now, the one in Washington was dedicated last year or the year before.
Okay, so these are two different ceremonies that we're talking about. One is sort of a local Tennessee ceremony, and the other was a ceremony that was held
nationwide,
at a much earlier period. As a matter of fact, that statue has some 57,939 names, I understand, and there are only 8 women listed on that statue. And there's an effort on the part of some young lady, Mrs. Evans, to perhaps you can tell us something about that.
Yeah, Diane Evans from Minnesota has been very instrumental in trying to get a statue dedicated to the women who served in Vietnam. They've run into some problems with politics and here and there. One of the problems, they wanted to have the statue on basically the same area as the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, and there's politics involved in all this sort of thing, and so that's delayed it somewhat. I think it's a wonderful project. Of course, they want to look at it as nurse. I have some misgivings about that because not all of the females who served in Vietnam were of the nurses corps. So I look at it as, well, you know, they're looking at nurses only, and what about the female who served over there as a court typist or in some other capacity? How would she feel? You know, does this monument really represent her? And so I guess there's quite a debate still going on about that, and there will be from now on.
What about base camp and your attitude in terms of reaching out to women who are veterans in the national?
We have the Women's Corps make up about 2.1% of any given Vietnam veteran population, and the same holds true here in Nashville. We're looking at about 750 women. We have not been very successful at all at reaching out to the women. The women, a lot of them stayed in the medical field, and if they did experience problems, they were not forthcoming with this because they feared for their jobs. They feared that if the word had gotten out that they had some sort of medical or mental problems or whatever you want to call it, they could be relieved of their duties as a nurse, and so a lot of them feared for that. A lot of others have just put things back in whatever perspective that they could and are marching forward out in the business or in the home setting or whatever. We still try to reach out in every way we can, and our facilities are open to the female veterans, as well as the female partners of male veterans. And we have groups for them, the wives and the relatives of veterans.
How many members do you have in your organization at present? And what about the service area?
The service area is what we call the Greater Nashville area. When we look at Greater Nashville, we're talking about Davidson and its satellite counties and surround it. Our Vietnam veteran population in that area is about 35,000. Now, quite naturally, not all of those folks need our services, or are they going to partake of them? Our actual market is probably 1/5 of that, or 1/4 of that. That will need our services in some capacity. Then we have a few more thousand from World War II era, and about half that number from the Korean. So we have a large veteran population in this Greater Nashville area.
Now, what about your membership?
It's not a membership thing. It's there's several membership organizations, the Vietnam Veterans of America or the American Legion, those type of things. They work with us, but we're not a membership organization. We're a counseling, assistance, and referral center for veterans.
Mr. Greenfield, could you tell us perhaps some of the success that you've had in terms of counseling and finding jobs or at least paving the way for veterans to find employment in Nashville?
All right, usually we get a pretty steady flow of people coming into the office looking for various services, usually jobs. If a veteran, when a veteran decides to work with us, we have a pretty good record on placement in positions. Through a variety of contacts and whatever programs are available, we're usually able to get a veteran placed in a job, and quite often in a job which he can view from a career standpoint.
Well, do you have any educational problems in terms of meeting the needs of the people who are seeking employment?
Not directly. There are educational problems which have to be overcome and challenges which have to be met. There are a number of existing programs that can be utilized if once the veteran has been made aware of their availability. And one of the things we do as a referral center is tell the vets what's out there for them. A lot of them don't know. They've checked in with the VA once, maybe some time ago, did not get the type of response that they wanted, and they haven't checked back. There are a number of programs which are available, and we can kind of pull them all together to kind of service the individual needs of the veteran.
So that's what you mean when you say you serve as a referral service more than anything else. If you wanted to say something specifically to the people that might